Cleveland Browns are standing on the edge of a cliff, and Kevin Stefanski knows it. The tension has been building for months, a quiet rumble beneath the surface that has now erupted into a storm, shaking the foundation of the entire franchise. A team that once promised stability and resurgence now finds itself drowning in offensive confusion, quarterback controversy, and whispers of a house cleaning at the very top. The story unfolding in Cleveland is no longer about just winning games. It's about survival, for Stefanski, for GM Andrew Berry, and perhaps for the very identity of the Browns themselves. From the moment the season began, warning signs were everywhere. Analysts questioned the bizarre decision to juggle 4 quarterbacks in training camp, a move that left no one with enough chemistry to lead the offense. Joe Flacco, brought in to steady the ship, never developed rhythm with his receivers. Jeudy and Cedric Tillman looked more like strangers than teammates, with miscommunications and dropped routes exposing how little time they'd actually spent working together. Kay Cabot made the criticism plain. How could Flacco build cohesion when the coaching staff had wasted so many crucial reps on a player they'd already traded away? The Browns entered the season limping, and it wasn't long before the cracks widened into gaping holes. What was supposed to be a team built on 3 pillars, dominant defense, quarterback development, and offensive consistency, has delivered on only one. The defense has been stout, holding its own, and at times keeping Cleveland competitive despite everything. But the offense? A sputtering machine, unable to find rhythm, timing, or consistency. Joe Flacco was supposed to be the safe veteran hand. Instead, he became a symbol of dysfunction. With each failed drive and each wasted possession, the frustration grew. The Browns weren't just losing games. They were wasting one of the best defensive units in the league. Kevin Stefanski's refusal to fully commit to his rookies only fueled the fire. Shedeur Sanders, a young quarterback with raw talent and undeniable potential, was pulled from scout team reps altogether, leaving many scratching their heads. Instead, those crucial opportunities went to Bailey Zappe, an emergency option. It was a puzzling move, one that suggested either a lack of faith in Sanders or an organizational plan so muddled that no one seemed to know what they were building toward. Fans, desperate for answers, saw the decision as more proof that their head coach was losing his grip on the team, and then came the whispers. Behind closed doors, frustration was spilling over. Sources hinted that the Browns' front office had begun contingency planning. If results didn't improve, both Stefanski and Berry could be gone by season's end. It didn't matter that they had signed extensions. Those contracts meant little in a league where patience is measured in weeks, not years. If losses piled up, and they were, then change was inevitable. Ken Carman didn't mince words in his assessment. The Browns' problems weren't about individual players. The system itself was broken. Even if Sanders or Dillon Gabriel stepped in, the scheme would set them up for failure. Unless the very structure of the offense changed, no quarterback could thrive. His message was a gut punch. This wasn't just a slump. This was systemic failure, and Stefanski would be the one to pay the price if it continued. The pressure became unbearable after another string of losses stretched into a nightmare 8-game skid, spanning the end of last season and the start of this one. To fans in Cleveland, it felt like déjà vu, another era of false hope crumbling into despair. The chants grew louder, the patience thinner. Analysts like Anthony Lima openly predicted that if things didn't turn soon, the Browns would have no choice but to clean house midseason, cutting ties with both the coach and the GM to salvage what little credibility remained. Then, in a twist that surprised many, Stefanski changed his tune. In a recent interview, he claimed the Browns had a detailed, minute-by-minute plan for Shedeur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel, and all of their rookies. It was a message designed to calm the storm, to show that he was thinking long-term, that he had a vision, but few believed him. To fans and insiders, it looked like desperation, a coach trying to save face, clinging to words while results on the field told a different story. Meanwhile, the biggest bombshell was yet to come. Rumors surfaced that Shedeur Sanders himself might want out. Reports linked him to the Cincinnati Bengals, who suddenly found themselves vulnerable after Joe Burrow's devastating toe injury. Burrow was facing surgery and months on the sideline, leaving a glaring hole at the position. For Sanders, who had already been underutilized and overlooked in Cleveland, the Bengals presented an intriguing possibility. A fresh start, a team that might actually build around him instead of shuffling him out of meaningful reps. For Cleveland, the possibility was terrifying. Losing Sanders would not only destabilize the quarterback room, but also send a message to the league. The Browns couldn't develop their young stars. It would be another black mark on an organization already drowning in negative headlines. The idea of Sanders walking away, succeeding elsewhere, while Cleveland continued to sink, was almost too much for fans to bear. The Browns are at a crossroads. On one side lies the possibility of renewal, a chance to commit to their young talent, overhaul the offensive structure, and finally give their fan base something to believe in. On the other side lies collapse, continued losses, a coach and GM shown the door, and a rookie quarterback walking out before he ever had the chance to prove himself. The decisions made in the coming weeks will define not just Kevin Stefanski's legacy, but the future of the franchise itself. The city of Cleveland has been here before, too many times. Promises of change followed by disappointment. Glimpses of hope snuffed out by chaos. Now, the Browns once again teeter on the edge of reinvention or ruin. Kevin Stefanski's job is hanging by a thread. Andrew Berry's future is equally uncertain. And Shedeur Sanders, the young quarterback who was supposed to represent the future, could be the domino that topples it all if he decides Cleveland is no longer the place for him. The truth is simple but harsh. Unless the Browns find a way to fix their offense, and fast, the defense won't be enough to save them. And no amount of detailed plans or press conference assurances will matter if the scoreboard continues to read failure. For now, the eyes of Cleveland, and indeed the NFL, remain fixed on Kevin Stefanski. Will he rise to the moment, or will this be remembered as the season that broke not just a coach, but an entire era of Browns football? So what do you think? Can Kevin Stefanski's so-called plan for Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel actually turn this ship around? Or is it just lip service from a coach desperate to hold on to his job? Could the Browns survive losing Sanders if he really did push for a trade? Or would that plunge them deeper into chaos? And most importantly, do you think the front office will pull the trigger mid-season if things don't improve? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaking the NFL.